landscape designer and installer, what I do is I meet with potential clients, discuss with them what projects they want to do, whether it's hardscaping, walls, patios, ponds. We discuss what they want to do. Sometimes I do a design for my client, which they will pay me to do. Sometimes it's just a very quick sketch, and sometimes it's just an estimate. And then I implement these designs with my crew of landscape technicians, and hopefully that all goes well. So as far as landscape, that's basically what I do: design and install hardscaping and softscaping with plants. As an artist, what do I do? And this is basically a lot of my spare time. I either just sit down at my table and draw or paint. I'm definitely influenced by the things I see in nature, a lot of native plants and seed pods and that kind of stuff. I do a lot of environmental work because I'm very interested in about pollination and pretty much any environmental issue, especially stuff associated with Maryland and Chesapeake Bay, of which pollination is a huge part of it. But I do try and push solitary bees and pollination and basically, native habitat and wildlife gardens. So that's kind of what I do as an artist. The process for this was we had like 3 finalists who all had to come up with a design, and Baltimore County, we had a presentation day when we presented our designs, and then they made a selection. So there was myself, another artist who did more of a stone-like memorial, and then a landscape architect who had a very similar design to mine. It was a bit circular, it had the same kind of crescent at the back. And part of that is just because of the space. So this would have been a pathway we put in, but the space slopes off towards the Lake Rowan. The other gentleman who was one of the finalists had a circle pretty much in the same space, and because of the lay of the land, it just makes sense to have a wall on this side because it's something like 4 feet lower there than over here. So it made sense to cut into the hill and have a wall that went from, 18 inches to 3 or 4 feet and then down again. So that was interesting that our designs were very similar, and ours both had circular features, a circular center feature. So what has been interesting is they're not going to be using my design, but the design that's going to go there it's a circle very similar to this. We didn't actually look at our presentation, at each other's presentations until
think the next day, which was kind of interesting. But that sometimes happens when you do design work. You know, it just made sense for the space. We had this whole process of meeting with the public, and probably, I would say, both of us drew influence from the Vietnam Memorial. I definitely know that I did, because I like the idea of walking into a space where you kind of walk down and then you have a wall that's part of the landscape, and that made that. Yeah, certainly with the gentleman James Din, who got the design. He had a wall that had writing etched into the stone, which is basically what you have at the Vietnam Memorial. Mine was definitely a little bit. This is a little bit more interactive. I wanted it to be interactive with the people there going to the memorial. I wanted it more for them to be involved in maybe the planting and the maintenance, which I think was it probably wasn't a big seller for Baltimore County. I think they wanted something that was less maintenance. I had this idea of doing different, of having a difference, dividing the actual space into 4 seasons, and having a plant that would represent that particular month. So, you have winter, and then you have December, January, February, and a plant that might look good for that month. So I still like that idea, and I'm going to try and incorporate that into some other design at some point.